that's another story I don't know very much about. But he came
Who
home.
I think maybe Norma has had some contact with.
I think she will have.
Yeah.
She's a
Yeah.
Canadian.
So
person.
can I ask a question?
She has. She
Yeah.
has. She's met her. She's
Okay.
met her.
Because they came to New
Yeah.
Zealand.
Max is...
Holden.
No.
He'd be
65?
No, he's more than that. I've got it in my
late
diary.
60s.
No, he's more than that. Well, he was a 4-year-old child when I was a 7-year-old.
To me, he was an old man.
Yeah, he was in his
And
late
he's
70s.
quite a reserved, taciturn man.
Yes, that's right.
But for him, this do last year was one of the first times he has been around
His real family.
family where there's this talk about so-and-so looks like so-and-so. He's
So this
never
is
grown up.
This is Norm and Nola.
Norm and Nola had Max and Faye.
Faye, okay.
Norm went to the war.
Okay.
And Max grew up with...
Now, wait a minute.
It's complicated.
While he was at the war, he mucked around and Nola mucked around. And
Okay.
Nola mucked
That's
around
right.
with Max. No, with...
Some chap. And so,
Who adopted...
yeah, so Max was raised by Nola and her new
Fancy
bloke,
Holden.
Holden, in a rural Canterbury situation, and he's your southern man.
Yeah,
He doesn't say much, but I talked to him that night, and he was going, this is the first time I have been in a situation, and he wasn't saying it like this, all fancy pants, where, and he was amazed at the photographs, because he was looking at these photographs, and he was going, I look like these people.
Yes.
And he's
So-
70-something,
And he did
and
too.
it's the first time he's seen people that look like him.
So does he look like Uncle Norm?
Well, how do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
No, I don't think he looks like... I don't think he looks like Norm at all.
I couldn't
He
say.
looks
It was
like
a
the
barrier,
Mayors.
Yeah.
Bridget. And I tried to remove it. I apologise for touching.
That's okay.
So anyway, so there's
Why
Max
is it like that?
and
Because it's about storytelling,
Faye.
Andrew.
Eh?
Faye, Max and Faye,
With the children.
with the two children. Then so Norm goes to the war. He has some affairs while he's a soldier, a pilot.
Yeah.
He had a child from
In
one of those.
in England.
Yeah, who I think Norma has had some contact
Well,
with.
we both have. Yeah,
Okay.
I have.
Okay.
Mm.
Right.
But go on, we won't
No.
divert from that now. So where are you
And
up
then
to?
he comes back
right?
to New Zealand after the war.
Yeah. And Nydia had been their next door neighbour in
That's
Brindwer. And
And
when
Nydia
Norm-
had been married and had children
Oh,
already.
Nydia was married to a Seventh-day Adventist pastor who I think also had a little bit of a dirty past. Drain,
What?
Unfortunate name.
his name was Drain. So, of course, he anyway,
What sort of past?
no, I don't know.
I thought you were saying what sort of drain.
I never wanted to know, but anyway, they parted.
Nydia and Drain.
Nydia was a solo mother with a couple of kids,
Mm.
Beverly.
Beverly and Yvonne.
Mm.
And that then
Yeah.
she set her cap at Norm as
Yeah.
a solo,
Yeah.
a father coming home without.
So he would have been all kind of gallant and
Oh, and he
with a
would
bit of a
also-
swagger,
I
and
mean,
I'm
wi-
back for them. I
without-
mean, he was
without-
a big, tall,
But without
good-looking
being
man.
crude, he would also have had money in his pocket.
Yeah,
Because he would have had
Of
the
course.
return servicemen.
That's
and he was a good-looking man.
Yeah.
Well, he was married.
And
of
obviously,
course, of
quite
course.
obviously, women liked him.
That's right. So she set her cap at him, they married, and that was the Nydia that my mum helped. No, Mum helped Nola, his first wife, who was a dressmaker, and she had a little shop where she did her sewing and she sold it in Brindwer, just where the Norman's Road, you know Norman's Road.
Where's
in
Brindwer, Andy?
Yeah.
Up
Give
past
me a help.
the
Help, yeah.
boys' school.
No,
on Papanui Road.
Okay.
And Norm's worked with the person who was the father of the present Bishop of Nelson.
Pico.
No, Eleanor.
Oh.
What's her name? Eleanor. And there's a photograph. I've got a photograph of Norm and the young Eleanor boy who is now the Bishop of Nelson.
Right.
Who worked in his father's
So Norm and Lydia, then they actually got formally married?
Oh, yes.
And then they had Norma.
And she was the only
she was the only
of
child.
that marriage. And Nydia...
Because Norma
must
has
have
told me about remembering going to see Nola.
Okay.
To see Nola. And
Oh, that's
and
interesting.
knowing that there was something more about these other children who would have been, what, a decade older than her?
Oh, yes.
A decade or more,
think so.
15 years?
And she didn't know what it was.
She didn't know, but she knew it wasn't quite, something was a bit unusual.
Okay.